Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jong. Today I'm going to share with you how to create a hologram Earth in Blender3D 2.93. Before we dive into Blender, let me break down what we are going to do in this tutorial. This scene is actually formed by 4 different basic elements. So first we are going to draw the 4 basic elements here. Then we are going to make the basic shape of the Earth by using geometry nodes. And next we are going to scatter the hexagon around the Earth. Then add the counter numbers, and we actually need to use animation node to animate the numbers later. So if you haven't downloaded it, please download it at animation node website. And then last, we are going to make some color correction for the final render using Blender Compositor. So without further ado, let's get started. First, we are going to draw the 4 basic elements. So select the point light and delete it. Select the cube, press Shift D to duplicate the cube, and then press Y to move it beside. Select both of the cube, then press G and then press Y to move it beside. Press Shift A and add a text. Press Tab to go into edit mode and tap 0.00. We are going to animate it later, so just put a random number for now. You can put any number you like. Then press Tab again to exit the edit mode. And then now we want to change the font. So go to the Object Data Properties. Under the font section, click the folder button to load the font. So select the aromatic font. I'm going to use this. By the way, you can choose other font you like, but I'm going to use aromatic font for this tutorial. I have put the download link in the description below, so if you need it, you can download it. Press G and then press Y to move it beside. And then next, we are going to add a hexagon, so press Shift A, go to Mesh, and add a circle. Change the vertices to 6. Right click the hexagon and convert it to curve. Go to Object Data Properties here. Under the Geometry section, go to Beaver and change the depth to 0.01. Then right click and convert it to Mesh again. And then press Shift A again to add a cylinder. Change the vertices to 18. The radius to 0.007. And the depth to 5. And now actually I want to make the top of the cylinder here become sharp. I want it to look like a needle shape. So press Tab to go into edit mode. Press alternate G to switch to X-ray mode. Press 1 to switch to vertex select, or you can press the button here. And then select the vertices on the top of the cylinder. Then press S and press numpad 0 to scale it to the smaller size, and then press enter. And then now we want to move the origin point of this cylinder to the bottom. Currently it's in the center. I want it to be at the bottom. So select the vertices at the bottom, press Shift S and select cursor to selected. Then press Tab to exit the edit mode and go to Object, Set Origin, and click Origin to 3D cursor. Then press numpad 3 to see the right view, and then we move up the cylinder to touch the y-axis. Okay, now we can start to apply material for 4 of these basic elements. But before this, we need to set up the renderer and the environment light so we can see the material better. Go to Render Properties tab and change the render engine to Cycles. You can use Eevee as well if you want, but I'm going to use Cycles for this tutorial. And then change the device to GPU. And now we can change the viewport shading to display render preview. Okay, now we can start to add material. Select the hexagon. Go to Material Properties tab and click New to add a new material. Then we split the screen and go to Shader Editor. Delete the principal node, then press Shift A and add a emission shader. Connect it, and then we want to change the color to orange. You can put whatever color you want, you don't have to follow me exactly. And then set the strength to 4. And now we want to copy this material to the cylinder. So go to Material Properties tab and copy the material. Then select the cylinder and press new to add a new material and then paste the material. Then we can change this to white color. And then we can select both of these and press Ctrl J to join it together. And then we can name it Hexagon. And next, select the counter numbers. Go to Material Properties tab. Press new to add a new material and paste the material again. And change the color to white color as well. Then we can name it counter numbers. And then now select the cube and paste the material again. And then we can change the color to a dark blue color. And then we can change the strength to 2. Then we can name it Earth base. And then select another cube. Go to Material Properties tab. Delete, remove this material. Add a new material again and paste the material. Then we can change the color to a light blue color. Then change the strength to 1. And you can play around with different color and strength later, so just put it 1 for now. And we can name this Earth outline. And then now we can move everything aside so we can start to add the globe. But before this, we need to move the cursor to the center again. So to do this, press Shift S and select cursor to the origin. Okay, now it's back to center. And then we can start to add the globe. Press Shift A and add a UV sphere. Change the radius to 2.6. Go to Geometry Node Editor. And press new to apply a geometry node to the UV sphere. And now we want to scatter the blue cube here onto the UV sphere. So press Shift A to add a point instance. In the object column, select Earth base, which is the dark blue cube. Then we can see the size of the cube is actually too big. So to make it smaller, press Shift A and add a point scale. Then we can change the tab to float and the factor to 0.1. But we actually want to increase the dot and make the dot even smaller like the sample here. So to do this, we can add a Subdivision Surface node. Untick the boundary smooth, change the level to 3. And in the point scale node, change the factor to 0.005 to make it smaller. And now we get the size we want. Then next, we want to make the dots to form the world map shape. So to do it, in the Geometry Node Editor, press Shift A and add a Attribute Texture Sample. Then we can add it before the point scale. And then press new to add a new texture. Then we can name the texture Earth base. In the mapping column, select UV map. And in the result column, tap scale. Then click this button to jump to texture tab. Under the image section, click open. Then we can select the image, select the spec mask and open image. I have included all this image in the description below, so please download it and you can follow along. And now we got the shape we want. And maybe we can change the background color to black so we are easy to see the material. Okay, now we can go ahead to add the outline for the map. So to do this, select 3 of the node here and press Shift D to duplicate it. Then move it below. And then press Shift A to add a join geometry node. Add in front of group output. Then connect it. Then press 2 to make a single user copy. Then we rename the texture to Earth Outline. And then press this button to jump into Texture tab. Under the image section, again we need to press the 2 button to make a single user copy. And then press the folder to load image. And then select the outline image and open the image. In the geometry node editors, under the point instance, change the instance object to Earth Outline. Then we can change the point scale slightly bigger so it looks more obvious. Okay, next we can start to add hexagon to the sphere. Okay, to do this, press Shift A again to add a point distribute node. Then press Shift A again to add a point instance node. Connect it. And under the point instance object column, select hexagon. And we can see now the hexagon is too big, so we want to make it smaller, and after that we want to animate it. To do it, press Shift A and add a attribute sample texture. In the mapping column, select UV map and tap scale in the result column. Then click new to add a new texture. Then we can name the texture hexagon. And then click this button to jump into texture tab. Then change the texture tab to cloud. Under the color section, sorry for the watermark by the way, activate the color ramp and then we drag the black color to around the center. And you can see the hexagon is become smaller. I think maybe we can decrease the amount hexagon a little bit, so we can change it to 0.5. And now we can start to animate it. So to do it, first make sure your thumb indicator is stay at 0, and then go to the texture properties tab. Under the size section here, change the size to 0.5, and then right click and insert keyframe. Then we drag the thumb indicator to the end of the frame, 250. Then change the size to 0.9. Right click again and add a keyframe. To be honest, I'm not sure why the keyframe is not appear on the timeline. If you guys know how to fix it, please let me know in the comment below. And if I find out how to fix it, I will also update in my coming video too. And next, we can add the counter numbers. Go back to the geometry node editor. Duplicate the point instance. In the object column, select the counter numbers. Connect the point distribute to the point instance. And then connect the point instance to the joint geometry. And now the counter numbers is too big and this is not what we want. So to make it smaller with slightly different size, we can add a attribute randomize node before the point instance. So press Shift A and add a attribute randomize. And then tap scale at the attribute column. Then change the max value to 0.2 and set to 7. And you don't have to follow me exactly, you can play around with this value to get a different result. And now we can see all the counter numbers on the globe is facing to the different direction, and this is not what we want yet, and we actually want it to facing into the same direction like the sample here. So to do this, press Shift A and add align rotation to vector node. Select x-axis, then change the vector value to x0, y we put 90, and z we put 0 as well. And now it's all face to the same direction, and we can set up our camera now. So select the camera and press N to toggle the properties panel. Change the location to x-axis, we put 19, y 0 and z 0 as well. Then change the rotation to 90, 0, 90. Then press numpad 0 to switch to camera view, and then go to the camera properties tab, and we want to set the focal length to 120. And now we want to add some depth of field to the scene. We want to blur the background a little bit. So to do this, we need to add a focus point to the camera. Press numpad 7 to see the top view. Press Shift A to add an empty cube. Then we can name it focus point. Make it cover the area that we want to focus. Press numpad 0 to back to camera view again. Select the camera, go to camera properties tab and activate the depth of field. And in the focus object column, select the focus point. Then we can change the f-stop to 0.4. Set the blades to 6. That means our bokeh will look like a hexagon shape. You can see it here. Then I think we can make the text color darker a little bit. I feel like it's too bright, so select the counter numbers, go to the material properties tab and change the strength to 1. Yeah, it looks better now. And now I want to change the overall hexagon a little bit smaller too. It's too big now, so select the hexagon, scale it slightly smaller. And then press Ctrl A to apply the scale. Press numpad 0 again to back to camera view. And yeah, it's look better now. And next, we want to animate the counter number using animation node. So to do this, go to animation node. Press new to add a node tree, and then press Shift A and search for time info. Press Shift A again and search for animate foot. Press Shift A again and add a float to text node. And then last, we add a object output node. Then connect it. And in the text object output node, select counter number. And then press the little dot button beside the text to activate it. And then go to animate float. And we can start to set the start value and the end value for the counters number, here. And I want to remain the start value to 0, and we change the end value to 99. And the duration to 250, since my animation is end at 250. But of course, if you have a longer animation, you can extend the duration as well. Then go to the float to text node, and we can change the minimum length to 2. So it will make the numbers shorter. And next, we want to add a ring around the earth. Press numpad 7 to see the top view. Press Shift A and add a circle. Change the vertices to 32 and radius to 2.95 maybe. Maybe we can make it bigger. and then press tab to go into edit mode. Press E and press S to scale it bigger. And then press tab again to exit edit mode. Go to geometry node editor. Press new to apply a geometry node to the ring. Press Shift A to add a point distribute node. Press Shift A again and add a point instance node. In the object column, select Earth outline. And then press Shift A again to add a attribute randomize. In the attribute column, tap scale. And then we change the maximum value to 0.006 and change the seed to 2. You can play around with this number as well, don't have to follow me exactly. Then go back to the point distribute node and increase the density to 44 and change the seed to 2 as well. And then press numpad 0 to switch back to camera view. And then now I want to rotate the ring a little bit, so we can change the x-axis to 24 and y-axis to -16 maybe. And finally we come to the last step. We want to make some color correction to the final render, so go to render and render the image. And then after finish the render, minimize it and go to the compositing tab and tick the use node, and then press Shift A and add a viewer node. This node is to allow me to preview the final outcome here. And then we can go to the view tab and click fit so we can see the entire artwork. And now we can start the color correction. So press Shift A to add a bright and contrast. And we change the bright value to 1, contrast to 4. And then press Shift A again and add a RGB curve. And then we select the frame light option and adjust it slightly brighter. And then go to the red color tab and we adjust it slightly lower. And then we done it. So if you like my video, please subscribe and see you next week. Bye.